through the muscle car world, we're at the MCACN show in Chicago, Illinois. If you're into muscle cars and you haven't heard of the MCACN Muscle Car Show by now, then you've been living under a rock. This show has grown into a once-a-year premier gathering of American muscle cars. Each November, the world's biggest car collectors descend on Roseville, Illinois for 2 days of total immersement into everything that was the muscle car era. In addition to cars, there are bicycles, mini bikes, and go-karts, memorabilia, and probably more important than that, the guys and gals that were responsible for creating, promoting, and racing all of this stuff back in the day. This year there was a really cool new addition, a display of very rare and special power plants. After you're done watching this video, make sure you check out the in-depth look at these special Mopar motors from this gathering, narrated by Jim Kramer. There are very few all-make shows that we here at MCG go to because, quite frankly, we're only looking for Mopars, and we run out of weekends before we run out of Mopar shows to go to. With that being said, we've never missed a single MCACN show. Bob Aston, who curates the cars from this show, is at heart a Mopar and AMC guy. Because of that, this show never disappoints when it comes to showcasing truly amazing examples of the Pentastar persuasion. So much so that we always have a complete Mopar MCACN preview issue of the magazine, as well as a full coverage issue after the fact. If you missed either of those, you can view them on the digital archives of MCG, which is always free to all of our subscribers. So if you haven't signed up for the only Mopar magazine that matters, when you're done watching this, go to MoparCollectorsGuide.com and never miss an issue. Oh, and we'll also throw in a free Mopar t-shirt for simply the cost of shipping and handling. While there's a plethora of perfect restored cars, MCACN has a barn find section that is one of the most popular attractions of the show. So we're just sitting outside for 35 years?
37 years it sat outside, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How'd you find it?
I knew about it, kind of knew about it.
Just kind of kept an eye on it?
Yeah. So it's got a Hemi in it now, and this sitting next to it is a black on black 69 Post Super B.
Okay. You get that one too?
I got that one too, and that's what the Hemi's, he re-inked the K-frame, the Hemi, and put it in the Cuda.
Okay.
That's why the shaker sits a little too high, because it's got B-body stuff rather than
E-body.
E-body.
What was this originally?
446 pack. Burnt, yep, burnt orange white interior, 6-pack, automatic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, yep. Yeah, you had a chain to a trailer. You did.
Chain to a trailer?
Chain to a trailer, an open car trailer, yep.
That's awesome.
That's just cool. Yeah.
All right, here was Steve Bean this morning. Steve, you brought an interesting head we looked at before. We didn't quite know what it was, but I understand you figured it out.
Well, yeah, I've had it for a few years now. I got a pair of them, but I brought one with me.
Right.
People dispute what I tell them about it.
Okay.
But there's no doubt that these were heads from the race team.
Okay.
The circuit. They're leftovers.
Okay.
That they didn't use because they're not machined at all. They're brand new heads. And they had the plant do things that you wouldn't do. You know.
Right.
Led that in. This is the main thing. Right here, these are X heads.
Right.
They usually say 340.
Right.
They had them switch it to 304.
304. The displacement difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in case they check.
Right.
They took off the date codes. I'm not sure why that. Maybe because the heads were laid too late or something, and they didn't want them. You know, they wanted to be able to put them in a race.
Right.
They're drilled like they're X heads, but they're drilled like TA heads.
So that
so you can port this out.
Okay. So the push rods come up at an angle.
Yeah, it's got the adjustable rockers at an angle on it, same as TA head.
Right. And
this is the main thing I saw.
It's labeled as an X though.
Yeah. This is the main thing I saw when I saw them sitting in the swap meet. I said, they ain't no heads, small block heads that never have the square port.
Right.
They're always got that little bump in here.
Right.
So they're opened up also.
That's pretty cool. There's a couple of these sets floating around. Everybody's kind of real curious as to what's up with them, so that's neat.
Yeah.
So, interesting piece. Thanks for showing them to me.
Okay.
All right, here with Dan Pausch from Las Vegas, and he always brings neat cars, but you've kind of overdone yourself this time with this black display. Tell me what the goal was here.
Started out with a couple friends that had black cars with white interiors, and they're like, we should do something in MCACN next year. And I guess I came up and said, let's do a black and white formal. And
so you got elected the guy, huh?
yeah, midway through it, now it's my display. And
so how hard was this to assemble?
It was the first couple cars were easy. Yeah. That's what started it. And then it was calling people and saying, like, where's this car? Where did this car go? And they're scattered around the country. And
so how many cars do you have here in the display?
There's 10 here at the display. C bodies, AC body, B bodies, and some E bodies. Everything from Hemis to 346 pack cars.
All beautiful stuff, and you have the formal attire to match. So everyone got that?
So we so we brought our tuxes, and we
cool.
Special, and even got a top hat for my brother to walk around in, because he likes to be the center of attention.
There you go. So are you going to try to repeat this at any time in the future, or are you kind of done?
The black and white, I think, is done. Well,
yeah.
I've been told I need to come up with something else for next year.
Oh, okay. Well, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, we have
beautiful display.
A couple ideas, but I don't know if they're one-year projects or more.
All right. Well, we'll look for you next year and try to hold you to it.
Thanks a lot. See you here.
While checking out the newly restored 1970 Landy Pro Stock Challenger, we ran into Dick's son, Richard. We had some questions for him about an A-body we found that was said to be his car when he was just a teenager. Was it white when you had it?
Yeah, white. Factory white. And remember in high school I put these struts in because the car was kind of, we drove a little more off-road. I lived rural, so there was a lot of fire roading and you maybe jump in the car.
Yeah.
And,
statute of limitations is over now. You can tell us.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of asphalt in my neighborhood, so the car got struts because it was starting to break up a little bit. And then we do like river crossings and stuff, so I had to put a little skid plate from the K-member up to, I don't know, that steel balance, because when the water would come in, it grabbed the K-member and flood the engine compartment with water, and it drowned the car out. So it was all skid plated up. So this car, this is definitely it.
Was it registered in his name when you took a picture? How do we know it was even his car?
I'm trying to remember. It basically the owner told me about the car. He's
holding these pictures.
There's
should have a date on them.
Should have a date on it. Here, hold on. See if we can get it.
It's been a while. It's been 7-8 years, huh?
I think so.
So my dad got the car, was going to make a race car out of it, and it was sitting and sitting. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I might have had something to do with it, but I was under Chrysler's insurance, and I was going to be a race car driver and whatever, and follow in the same footsteps. But again, gas crunch came, Vietnam, I had my draft card, and it didn't look good. And then once the gas crunch came, the whole drag racing industry took a big slump, at least 50%. So this car, I ended up getting it as a 72 high school car.
Was it a body in white when you got it? Like,
yeah.
Okay, just like the race cars were?
Yeah, body in white, no dum-dum on the underside. So it was pretty well stripped. Yeah, my brother put the engine in. I just sold it to my brother and so on. He did a lot of work with it.
While vintage race cars and restored numbered matching cars make up the bulk of this show, as of recent, Bob has been selecting a select few really well-built recent day customs to fill out the floor plan. Tony Seco, beautiful car. Tell us what you got going on.
So we got a 71 Cuda and a 70 Cuda and a 2023 Hellcat.
All right, so we got DNA from everything going on here. So what was the goal of the build?
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to take the look of a 71 Cuda. We started with a 70 Cuda, and we wanted the look of a 2023 Hellcat and put the two together and come out with a 50-50 move.
Okay.
So like you see, we got a 70 AR Cuda spoiler, but we didn't like the complete look because it had ribs and it's up about 1 inch. So we made a finished panel flat, moved it back so it looks like something would be on a modern car. We didn't care for the 71 taillights, just not the look I like. So we went with a 70 taillight. We shaved off the back, we got rid of the trunk lock, made a flush panel. Took the bumper, we shaved it, cut it, shrunk it down, made it look like it belonged. It was a rubber bumper, but it's a metal bumper that's morphed to the car.
You got a little tire on there, so what do you got on the rear end?
So that's a Hellcat Red Eye. I'm not Red Eye. That's a Hellcat Demon 170.
Right. So those are the expensive wheels.
Yes, they are. But those are the exact off of a Demon 170.
Right.
We wanted the DNA once again from the 2023, but we didn't like the Pro Touring, all the other mod type wheels. Interior, we wanted to go with something modern, but we wanted to look like old school.
Right. So you got the houndstooth in it.
We took a Pro Touring Audi seat, cut it, put bolsters on it, lined it up, made it look like a 2023 Challenger seat. But we wanted the DNA from a 70, 71, so we went with the houndstooth. Took original door panels, we come around here, wrapped them with leather.
Right.
Put the little accent in there from the insert. We wanted the original sill plates, but they're not durable. We didn't like the silver, so we coated them. In the back seat, if you look at the back seat, the Hellcat Red Eyes, the Hellcats have a seat delete package.
Right.
We wanted a nice clean look, so we did our own little modern version, a little bit of 70 look and a little bit of 2023 look.
Under the hood?
So under the hood, we wanted to make it clean. We shaved off the firewall, we shaved off the top of the cowl to make it look clean, but we still wanted the DNA of a 70s Cuda. So we left the shock towers, we didn't cut those and mount flush. We left the original Mopar bolts. We made sure they're the right markings for the crazy Chrysler Cooper guys. But we painted them, made them look nice. We tried to tuck and hide everything so you wouldn't see all the wiring. We went with a little bit modern hinge just because it gives it a little bit of a different look. But like all the latches, we made sure they're the right date code, part number, all the right latches on it. Did all the bolt plating, put all the new technology, but we tried to hide it all, stuff it away. You saw the supercharger on top of there. Right. That is a Cuda emblem. Okay, cool. That we had 3D printed. If you look real close, there's a red ruby for an eye.
Is it really?
Just like on a, let me see if I can put some light on there for you. So just like on the Hellcat Red Eye, you get a, see that little ruby in there? Cool. Yeah, you get the.
So you got a red eye Cuda.
You got a red eye Cuda, but it's 1970s touchscreen.
Cool, it's a beautiful piece. Making its debut at this show was this absolute work of art, Superbird, done up like a perfect mirror image of the original Daytona, which was used in the Joe Dirt movie and was displayed next to it during the show. All right, so.
Yep, so I'm at the airport, flying down to go take a bunch of pictures of this. And I did have a bidder number. So Troy had this for sale, and I was talking about it. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to win this. So I'll buy this. I'll get a whole bunch of pictures of this. And I got an awesome airbrush artist, Scott Takis in Cedar Rapids, and I know he can paint this. So ended up buying this off of him, and kept talking, and finally that's how we just said, well, how much you gonna bid? How much you gonna bid? Right, I don't think either one of us is gonna get it. And then it's like, hey, why don't we just go in together and we'll just buy the damn thing? I'd rather own half of it than none. Right. And we agreed on the 300s, kind of I was gonna go a little more, but we just had a feeling that was gonna be the magic number, and it all worked out.
So what made you decide to make the exact clone in a Plymouth?
Yeah, well, I wanted to do a Plymouth because it was like, copying something that's already made 100%.
Right.
I mean, I consider that too much of, I don't want to say a fake, but I wanted to do the Plymouth because if they would have used the Superbird instead of the Daytona in the movie, this is exactly what it would look like.
Okay.
So that was the goal.
So who did the work on this one? Because it is phenomenal.
Yeah. So the paint was done at Underground Art Studios, Cedar Rapids, Scott Takis.
Yeah.
He's done some other stuff. He's a motorcycle airbrush artist, and he's a cool guy. And as you can see, incredible amount.
I mean, if you look at this, it's exactly the same. Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Right before I went to Sturgis, I took both cars up to him, and they worked on for about 6 weeks. Really painting it, but he still had a couple weeks. You gotta remember, he had to color match everything, but he had to get all the colors and do test panels and do almost as much research to get it ready to paint before he actually decided to paint.
Yeah, it's not easy to do an exact match, for sure.
So, and then I did all the work for it. Before I took it out, I had another motor out of 496 stroker, 440 source motor with serpentine belt, fuel injection, all that. So I'd already put the motor in. I put a new Tremec 5-speed in and 373 gears. So that was all done before. And once I got it back, I had the vintage air about halfway installed. So I finished the vintage air and put some mufflers on it, redid the brakes, put wheel woods on it. So I'm getting this set up so we can do stuff like the Hot Rod Power Tour.
Cool.
Make this thing get out.
So you're going to take both cars out together in the future, or what are the plans?
Well, we'll do a few shows like this right now, but I have shared custody of this car. So
So I got this one in April. That's his. I sold it to him. So,
Okay.
But I had, like I said, he actually was the one that pulled it out of the barn
Right.
this week of COVID in Mississippi. What's the name of the town? Florence, Mississippi. And so we had this car. We had it for since
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. And we just, you can't keep them all. So at some point, something's got to go. A new caretaker. And although it looked beautiful in blue and white, it turned out amazing.
Well,
it's incredible.
It's one of a kind now.
The crazy thing about
I call it his creation.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we needed a white, this had white interior bucket seats, and that's what I needed to match the car. So that didn't have to do an interior swap.
Right.
The other thing is a lot of people don't realize too is that car, went over to, that was on display in the Netherlands for like 15 years. So bringing it out here, I took it to Sturgis and added a gas monkey garage. We took it to SEMA 3 weeks ago, and then bringing it here. I mean, all these people finally get to see the movie car that's been, off the grid.
Yeah, it's
for
awesome.
15 years.
It's awesome. I'm glad to see it out.
And we're going to take it to Spring Fling and all around
Do the whole
West
circuit?
Coast next year when I get custody.
Let's talk about 5150, because you guys have kind of come up. When did you start? Not that long ago, 4 or 5 years ago? Really getting serious.
We started our Instagram account and we came up with the name when we did that on June 25th, 2017. My son was sitting on the couch doing Instagram. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And I asked him what it was. He said, oh, it's a place where you share pictures. And I was like, oh, that's lame. And he said, no, Dad, people would love to see what you do. And I said, really? Nah. And so he said, let's do an account. And what do you want the name to be? And that's where the name was born. And 5150 means crazy in California.
Right.
It's for the temporary insanity.
So you're a Van Halen fan?
No, I'm not saying I'm not a Van Halen fan.
That didn't come from that.
It didn't actually come from that. It came from a painter,
Yeah.
actually, his email account. So, but anyway, so it was born, and we've been chasing cars forever since I was a kid.
Yeah,
right?
we all have.
A little bit more.
But you guys have made it a business now.
Now it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel is growing. We haven't even been a year, and we're growing, and we've got so many cool compliments and stuff in the Barn Find section. And this is our favorite show. We love this show. We're in California. We're traveling 5,000 miles round trip to get here to bring all these cars that we find throughout the years.
Now you say you're in California, but the shop is in Texas, correct?
We have four warehouses in California, and we have 2 in Texas. All the work that we do on the cars is where I live in California, and then we have a company called American Steel Classics, because we're not Mopar only, we're just Mopar crazy. And Tony heads up that dealership and for the cars that we sell. Because sometimes you gotta buy 4 cars to get 1 or 2, So we have a large collection of super rare cars that we've collected over the years, and then we also help to, rehome cars and get them into the hands of other people that can enjoy them as well. So it's a little mix of the thing. And so American Steel Classics is a new dealership. We were in Allen, Texas. We're moving to Celeste, Texas, and we're just looking to make sure that we keep these cars alive for the next generation.
So you guys came in heavy to the barn finds. How many cars do you have back there?
We planned on 6 originally, and of the 6, we only brought 2 of the 6 because we had a pretty crazy last 3 months.
Right.
And then we ended up actually being 7. Bob's been super gracious and kind of flexed because we're like, hey, we don't really know what we're bringing. He says, well, you tell me the number and I'll RSVP, you pay your fee and you're good. And he's like, we wanted to advertise for us, but literally like, what, 4 or 5 of those cars came in like the last 2 months.
Right.
We literally took that Daytona out of the barn, onto the trailer, to the barn finds.
The blue one?
The blue one. We took it out Tuesday, and we delivered here Thursday, literally from, and then unfortunately, the guy lost his life to COVID. 2 of the cars that he had, so there's some sadness, but then there's also some celebration of the cars.
Well, the great thing is when the cars outlive you, and that's your lineage and your history, and the cars always keep that history, so you're a part of it at that point.
Absolutely.
So,
we love to get the story from the people that are selling it, to kind of give the car some life, if you will, and a tribute to the owner that owned it, that kept it. That Daytona's rust-free. He kept it nice inside, and not everybody did. So, but we just love keeping them alive, saving them. and the camaraderie between our team, some employees, but then also some that are just guys that, you know, that we've networked with over the years. So I was thinking Dalton was here. Dalton's around here somewhere.
So it's one big family is what you're saying.
We have a great network. Yeah, absolutely.
So are you guys still buying?
Absolutely.
You're always looking?
Day.
All right.
Every day.
So if someone's got something cool and wants to get in touch with you, how do they find you?
You can either go to Mopars 5150 on Facebook or Instagram, or you can reach out to our dealership to Tony at American Still Classics, also on those two things as well. Or you can call us. Our phone numbers are listed on the websites and things. Where, you know, we try to treat people right, not just the seller, but the guy in between sometimes. We just want to make sure that the cars get either into our collection or into the right hands of the collector.
Now, since you've got the other company, you could actually sell the car and restore the car if they wanted it done, correct? Is that possible?
We don't have customers for restoration.
Okay.
We have so many cars.
Okay, you can't do it?
That we literally just do our own stuff.
All right, gotcha.
We don't. That's stress. That brings a whole other element to it. There's great restoration companies all around here. We're not those guys.
Gotcha.
But we do a lot of restoration on our own stuff. And when we get cars that they're 90% great and 10% need, we try to fill that before we sell it to the next guys so that they're happy with what they get from us.
Gotcha.
And Tony will send you 100 pictures. Our website usually has 100 pictures.
Yeah.
We would rather you not buy something than buy it and be disappointed.
Right.
So, right? It came the way you said, right? And then you created the most expensive painted box.
You know, some people like McLarens, Ferraris, Porsches. I just want a couple Joe Dirt.
Just like the Dirty Bird and the Joe Dirt car. So.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for bringing them out. Always great to see your stuff, and you know, everybody check them out. Go to their
See you in spring cleaning, and we'll see you next year.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
To see full features on these and many more cars from this show, make sure you have a subscription to the only Mopar magazine that matters, Mopar Collector's Guide. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more like this one, smash the subscribe to Mopar TV button. It's absolutely free. This has been Robert Wolf reporting, and until next month, I'll see you on the pages of MCG.